So when I turned to see if I could pass the joint to Bruce Springsteen, he was already strapping on his guitar, and that's when I knew it was time for me to get back to work too. It's June 1982. The road that led me to that point, a little bit circuitous. In 1958, I was born, the sixth child in a family that would eventually be 9 children. When my mother was pregnant with me, there was, in 1958, a measles and a mumps outbreak in the United States of America. I should have been the person affected. I was in the 3rd trimester in my mother's womb. The person affected was my sister, Mary Lou, who at the age of 2 lost her hearing completely and became deaf. Should have been a tragedy, but she never treated it as a tragedy. It was never a problem or a disability for her. She lived her life, and the only time she ever got mad at me was when I was a teenager signing saying, yeah, she's practically normal. And she looked at me, she said, fuck you, I am normal. I learned my lesson. My mother would always introduce us. This is my athletic, because there were so many kids, my athletic one, my creative one. This is my deaf one, Mary Lou. And I always wondered, which one was I going to be? Was I going to be the passive one, the silent one, the gay one? And I couldn't deal with all of that. So I hid it all and became the holy one. And I entered a monastery and took a vow of celibacy. Go into the monastery, doing my formation in novitiate year, and the novice master is trying to dig out of us, what talents and skills have you been given so that you can give them for the greater glory of God? And I said, well, I know sign language. He said, you do? That day, he started pimping me out to every church, to every synagogue, to people who had weddings. I was signing masses. I was signing funerals. I even signed people's confessions. Amazing. I was sick of it. I finally went to him one day and I said, brother, I just can't do this anymore. It's just something that's taking away from my spiritual life. And he looked at me and he said, brother, you must learn. You've been given a gift. When you are given a gift, the only option you have is to accept it joyfully and fully. So I kept doing sign language. Finished my formation. I go teaching in an all-boys Catholic high school in Harlem, New York. And I'm kind of going through the motions, knowing that this was not my authentic life, but I was doing it. Doing the sign language for masses in the area in Manhattan as well and in the boroughs. And one time I heard that the No Nukes rally was going to be held in New York, and they were expecting a vast crowd. I cut my teeth on the civil rights movement, on the anti-war protests for the Vietnam War, so I missed the gay lib movement, unfortunately, but I knew that I could really get into this. I wanted to go see the No Nukes rally. It turned out it was the largest rally in the history of the United States protesting. 1 million people converged on Central Park. And I figured, well, what the hell is a way that I can get up to the front? Because they announced the singers. I wanted to hear the speeches. I was all rabble-rousing. But my God, Joan Baez, James Taylor, Jackson Brown, Linda Ronstadt. I couldn't wait. So I figured, how do you get up to the front? You swish around in a habit. So I wore my full habit, and there I am with my No Nuke sign marching right up to the front of that stage, and there I am. And the speeches are going on, and I'm listening, and there's the sign language person, the interpreter up in the front, and I just made eye contact with her. And I said, are you tired? And she looked at me, she said, do you sign? I said, yeah. She said, get up here now. Do you sign songs? Well, I sign songs. We gather together to sing the Lord's Prayer. Yes, I sign songs. Just get up here. You're signing the songs. I go up there. Linda Ronstadt's on, and she's singing Blue Bayou, and I'm dying. And then I couldn't believe it. She got the heat wave burning inside, and I'm loving it, and I'm going through. She finishes, she gets off the stage, and Jackson was going to come up next. They're setting up for him, and I'm looking around, and the sound crew for Jackson is passing around this joint. So I'm like, I better look the other way. I don't know. But they catch my eye. And he held it up. He said, and I thought of my brother novice master, Richard, when you are given a gift, the only option is to accept it joyfully and fully. So I was up there toking with them. But I had a big heart. Couldn't go home and brag about this. So I turned and I said, let me offer it. Not only Jackson Browne, look who's accompanying him. It's Bruce Springsteen. I said, let me offer this to him. And I turned, but that's when he was strapping on his guitar. And it was time for me to go back to work signing. And there I was, signing away. And I loved it. The first song was Running on Empty, Running on. And I loved it. I was getting into it and going at it. Loved it. Finished that night. Actually got out of there, tore ass in my habit, and I made the 6 o'clock mass to do sign language for the people there. Now, fast forward to today, to this year. About a month ago, the day after the inauguration of that man, I had the honor of being in the Women's March. And it was so uplifting to get back to my roots again. And I'm walking up the avenue, and there's a group of deaf women, and they are signing like crazy. The people united will never be divided. And I'm screaming. And I realized I thought of my sister Mary Lou and thanked her in my heart for the gift that she gave me so that I can make my voice and my hands count for something. Thank you.